What's going on, y'all? I know y'all really was not waiting on this My Wise, review, but it is what it is. Some shit was going on last night. I don't know, for the past couple of days, YouTube just been not right on my end, meaning with the processing being forever. So I record the stuff at the regular time that I usually normally record it, but it'll take forever to process. Like, it'll upload, but it won't go ahead and process. It'd be like processing for hours and shit. And who got the fucking time? But so when the videos start coming late, if it keep on doing that, that's why. It's not because it's not uploaded, it's just because it's still processing. That's on YouTube end. But anyway, so this is Mob Wives, the reunion part 2, season 5. It was bullshit. They could have kept this. And I really do mean, like, they could have put all of the stuff that they talked about in one freaking reunion, because a lot of it was redundant. It was redundant as hell. You start the reunion all talking about Drita and her cursing and saying dick and dildo all the time. Okay, who cares? That's nothing new. Okay, that's really nothing new. And then, I don't know what's wrong with the camera. Fuck it. And then, they started talking about Renee and the way that she evolved, or her evolution throughout the season, from the beginning being angry and pissed off, and being pissed at Natalie, being pissed, having her beef with Big Ange, and Drita feeling a type of way, and then her somewhat making amends or peace with Natalie or whatever, and her baptism and stuff like that. And basically saying that, Drita was like, she's still cool with Renee. It's just that she wasn't here for some of the stuff that she did. And I was like, that's understandable, because when you're friends, you're not going to be 100% cool with everything that, your friend do. And like I say, real friends, you should be able to call them out on their bullshit. All right? So, after that, Nat D comes out. And, when they start talking about Nat D, Big Ange was basically saying the thing about Nat D was every time they talked about something with Nat D, she always had to bring up Natalie, Nat G. And it's like, why are you still bringing this shit up? It's annoying as fuck. And I was like, yeah. So, basically, the second part of this reunion was basically Nat D versus Nat G, because every time they said something, they get into it. They always arguing, going back and forth, back and forth. And the first time they argued, Nat G leaves, okay? And Drita goes out, and she trying to convince her to come on out. She was like, girl, don't let that get to you. I think it'd be fucked up if you leave. I'm like, Drita, let her do what she got to do, okay? How would you feel if somebody just constantly putting, your name in their mouth and you don't even fucking know them? Come to find out, Nat D never really knew Nat G, okay? She only knew of people who knew her. Like, a friend of hers, I guess, it's the guy that she supposedly, was called the cops on or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, so you're going to be upset because of your friend? Like, the girl didn't even do nothing. And if he was beating her ass, okay, and somebody beating your ass, you ain't going to call the cops? Get the fuck out of here. It was just real stupid. So Nat G, she finally does come out, and she was basically like, if I'm in an abusive relationship, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get that motherfucker arrested or whatever the hell. So basically, I don't know, you can interpret that saying like, you going to make some shit up to get his motherfucking ass out the house, or whatever. You going to do what you got to do. Call the cops for your protection. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with, if somebody is whooping your ass in a relationship, no one should be putting their hands on anyone. And you want to be called a rat because she called the cops on him. And like they said, if she really called the cops or whatever, did whatever they claim she did, he would have been in jail. And according to her, he wasn't in jail or some shit. I don't know. It's just all stupid. Everybody want to call each other rats and stuff, but all of y'all rats, okay? Y'all on this show spilling secrets and doing all this stuff that you're not really supposed to be doing. So all you hoes is rats, okay? Shut the fuck up. Then, Nat D and Nat G gets into an argument once again. And at this point, Vivica and her fake ass. Let me tell you something. Vivica was doing the most this whole reunion. From part 1 to part 2. Part 1, she was just, oh my god, you girls this and da da da. I was like, girl, get your fake ass out of here. Then this part when she started crying, I understand. She was like, you guys, gotta stop this. This is hurting my heart. Seeing you guys like this. I said, you don't even fucking know them. Okay, why should you let this stupid shit affect you like this? I mean, I get the subject matter is deep and shit, but they wasn't making fun of it or whatever to get this emotional. Because she came back out and was basically saying, she works with women in homeless shelters or whatever who tries to get away from domestic violence and taking their kids with them, and to see them fighting and doing all this shit. I understand, but Vivica, this is fucking Mob Wives. You can't tell me you ain't seen the previous 4 seasons and don't know how they get down and know that you don't take shit, especially on VH1, seriously. Okay, girl, stop working it. You ain't finna get no other gigs off of this. Okay, stop playing. So, after that, they bring Carla out. They trying to get to the root of what the issue was with Drita. Carla was like, basically, after the last season or so, when Carla and Ramona decided not to come back, somehow her and Drita lost contact or whatever. And, Drita basically was like blaming Carla for some things that popped up in the blogs and, saying some shit. And she was like, Carla was like, bitch, I didn't put nothing out there, okay? What the fuck point do I have to talk to blogs? I don't talk to blogs. And here go Vivica. Well, how did this stuff get out there on the blogs? And I'm sitting here like, now, Vivica, you know damn well how shit get on the blogs. Anybody can open up a motherfucking blog and start putting anything up there. 9 out of 10, maybe 80% of the shit that be on blogs are factual. Okay? No, not really. 80% are false. I say that. Give or take shit. You can't really take a lot of shit from certain blogs as fact. They make up their own shit. So that's how motherfuckers can put stuff on there. They'll say a source said or so-and-so said without saying that the actual person said this because they don't know. Okay? Because it's not factual. It's not founded proof. Alright? So that was just a stupid question to ask if you asked me when Vivica said that stupid shit. And then, Drita was like, and I was just confused how you and Renee just got cool because last time I seen y'all wasn't even talking, y'all fighting and all this stuff. And Renee was like, look, ran into each other in a nail salon and I saw her first and I was like, oh my god, hey, and I didn't even know that I was going to have a reaction like that because it is me. And so therefore it was like we kissed and made up. Okay, she said we've been friends since we were 17 years old. Alright, so they got history. Friends fall out and they come back together sometimes, okay? Obviously, whatever happened, they was big enough to put it behind them and to move on and to value the relationship that they had and been developing for so many years. So, you can't fault them for wanting to be back friends when they've been friends since they were kids, okay? So, calm down, Drita. And, they asked, do they miss the relationship that they had? Drita said, yeah, she missed Carla. And Carla said the same thing. But Carla was like, as far as us getting back to where it was, the relationship 9 out of 10 won't ever be back the same way. We won't have that closeness. And it is what it is. Okay, I could have told you that. Then they started talking about the word rat. Everybody wants to be a rat. They're talking about the meaning of it, the usage of it. Who gives a fuck? All you hoes on this stage is rats. Moving on. They started talking about Natalie and why she brought a 7-member crew to Renee's party. Okay? And I was very much here for Vivica when she said, you supposed to technically bring a +1. You don't do no shit like that. And that's the whole thing. I don't care if Natalie felt like she might get jumped. Okay? If you felt so much of it was going to get jumped or some shit like that was going to pop off, why the fuck show up? You didn't even have to show up. You could have politely declined and said, thank you for the gesture, Renee. I see what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it, but I'm going to just decline because I don't know what's going to happen, and I just don't want no drama to happen at your place. That's all you had to do. You don't invite other people to your to somebody else's party, and you're not even friends. You're just okay with them now. You just got okay with them. You're not good Judy's to do no shit like that. That was fucked up, and she was 100% in the wrong for that. Nat D talking about something. She didn't come there to fight. Wasn't nobody finna whoop your ass. Wasn't nobody finna act out. Nat D, girl, I don't believe you. But, it is what it is. And then Drita called Nat G out like, girl, I think you came for real because you wanted to fight. I mean, hey, if you bring a crew of 7, okay, somebody wanted to do something or was, it is what it is. So they arguing. Nat D and Nat G go back and forth arguing. Next thing you know, Vivica trying to calm shit down. They ain't fucking listening to her. And Nat G was like, let me call you by your real name. Dumpster Juice. And that's when Nat D got her ass up and slid on over there trying to fuck her up. And they got into somewhat of a fight. I won't call it no fight. Hair pulling or whatever. And they broke it up, and next thing you know, Nat G goes. She said, fuck this shit, I'm leaving. And it is what it is. Basically, they ended the reunion talking shit about Nat G. That's basically it. They could have kept all of this shit. It was bullshit. But y'all tell me, y'all, I didn't want to leave y'all hanging, but that's what happened with the review or whatever. So, yeah, y'all tell me how y'all feel about it, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.